We've got the thing going.
Yeah.
So, I am here with Nathan. We are going to be joined by Jesse Inocalla, a local legendary actor, voice actor, improv guy. He's responsible for the walk-offs that happen in Vancouver at all of our big conventions and stuff. Really, really cool guy. He's having some issues with his Wi-Fi, so he will be here when he can. But we're going to get started talking about Suicide Sqaud, because we've been promising that review now for
a couple weeks.
Yeah, it feels like a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's time.
It is time.
It's time to weigh in on a movie that wasn't as bad as it could be and wasn't as good as it could be.
Not at all.
So, yeah, Suicide Sqaud.
Where do we start?
Well, I have an idea. Let's start with characters.
All right.
So, movie's got actually some really interesting characters.
Yeah.
And some of them it actually does things with.
It's true.
For example, Slipknot, I thought was just a fascinating addition who added quite a lot to. He didn't at all. No, just no.
No.
Let,
Head blew off, but you needed that. You needed
but there was no build. Okay, so I'm gonna do like the individual characters, like the ones that are actually good, and like work my way down.
All right.
I think. So, Deadshot.
I like that show.
Deadshot is the main character of this movie.
Definitely. He almost always is the main character of
And-
the Suicide Squad franchise.
Because he should be.
Yeah.
That's the entire point of it, is that you've got this assassin who never misses, and it's Will Smith. I mean, he's likable he was likable in Wild Wild West, and this is definitely better than Wild Wild West. And
Much better
they
than
give
Wild
him
Wild West.
a lot more character to work off of here. Like he adds a lot of pathos to this.
He does. I found him quite. He was still funny.
Yeah.
His usual Will Smith charm, and they wrote the character really well.
Mhm.
Like he did. Felt motivated. He understands his reasons for doing everything.
Yeah. So it's just straight out, we're going to spoil the shit out of this film.
Yeah.
So
Full spoilers.
Deadshot is an assassin who never misses. That is the entirety of his character, or you would think it is, because he is a sociopath, except that he loves his daughter.
Yes, he does.
He has issues with his ex-wife, but he loves his daughter. And his daughter kind of has an idea of who he is, but not really, and there is some friction there, and you get to see it. Like he fights Batman at the beginning of the film
Yeah, he does.
and loses. Like he's going to win, but his daughter kind of interferes on Batman's behalf, and he takes a dive. And it's interesting to watch that degree of selflessness from this character. Like it immediately sets him up as somebody who is lethal but sympathetic. Broken, but somebody that you can see the good in them, or the potential for good. So we're immediately invested in Will Smith. And
yeah.
I mean, we're always invested in Will Smith. It's Will Smith.
It's true. Even though people from the trailers were like kind of eye rolling, but Will Smith is here, and it is like very good mix of old Will Smith and the funny Will Smith and the serious Will Smith.
Mm-hmm.
It really adds the dimension. I'm almost surprised that one of his kids didn't play his daughter, because I will flat out say that the little girl that they hired to play his daughter
Not
was
great.
awful.
I've seen worse child actors.
I've
but,
seen,
after Stranger Things.
yeah,
Stranger Things?
Yeah,
You just
seen good child acting.
actors. Yeah, you're just like, you don't.
Yeah.
Particularly for your big, massive blockbuster movie, it's like get some good child actors in there. But
she was terrible.
really
What didn't matter?
good set for him. Like
Yes.
really good setup, really good build. Has the interesting character arc with the thing at the end. Like if the movie had been primarily Deadshot, they had just gone with like a straight Deadshot guest starring Harley Quinn and used that as an impetus to build up Suicide Squad. Like what DC should have done is, instead of just Suicide Squad, because the reason Suicide Squad works is because you care about the characters. And the better option would have been to do like sort of the dark journey version of the Avengers, right? So you do like your Deadshot movie, you do your Harley Quinn movie, and you take like a third character. And I would have done Katana.
Yeah, because she got that was the character that really got.
Or if you really want to like go to a dark place, Rick Flag, and you do the story of the archaeologist becoming the Enchantress.
Yeah.
And them trying to come up with some way to live. Like, so like those are your movies, and then you build to Suicide Squad. And instead they tried to condense it. And we already had a perfect Suicide Squad movie, Assault on Arkham.
We did. That was a good one.
That was like, if they had just taken that, really.
Yeah.
And
that really should have just been the basis of their movie.
But instead we got, and we'll get to the problems with it shortly, because again, like I want to talk about the good.
Yeah,
because there is like a lot of good in this movie. Harley Quinn
did like
Margot Robbie's
killed it,
just murdered this character in the best possible way.
Yeah.
So she's intelligent. Like you get the fact that she is probably the smartest person in the room.
Yeah, but
excepting when Amanda Waller is present. But she's smart and lethal and fun and comedic, and it's comedically tragic. So again, like really liked that character. I really
liked the flashback sequences of her and Joker and building on their relationship. I felt that was like pretty well established in those scenes, even though again there was moments where like there could have been more of that, but you know, like you could have, like you said, a Deadshot movie, well, a Harley Quinn Joker movie could have easily
killed it.
Yeah, could have killed it, especially with that very good dynamic being built towards them. Like, you know, like a Mad Love movie with some more things like
it's interesting because the Joker is not classic. Joker doesn't love Harley. Classic Joker doesn't love anybody. Classic Joker sees Harley as a toy, as an extension of his will, something that's amusing.
Yeah,
and that it highlights how horrible the Joker is, but it also sets up Harley for, you know, the redemption story where she realizes, and there's a lot of power to be drawn from a woman who realizes that her relationship is abusive and leaves and redefines herself not by her abuse, but by who she wants to be. And that, I think, is the essence of the Harley Quinn character. And this movie did nothing to that.
No, this was definitely, you know, this was more of a, it seemed like this was presented even like talking about the Joker that might have loved Harley. So that goes against kind of his character. But again, it's speaking of the Joker character, he was.
I'm. Here's the thing. Like, I'm willing to acknowledge that these are different iterations of those characters.
Oh yeah, no, I have no problems with.
I'm
Jared
totally
Leto's Joker.
I did.
Yeah.
I had a lot of problems with Jared Leto's Joker. I had a lot of problems with Jared Leto, more than I had problems with his Joker. Because the bullshit that he was pulling in the name of being a method actor.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the performances in this movie for a second, because if we're gonna do the thing, let's do the thing. So Will Smith, not a method actor, incredible performance.
Yep.
Margot Robbie didn't feel the need to send used condoms to any of her co-stars. Fantastic performance. Viola Davis, who is a goddamn heavyweight when it comes to acting. She is the equivalent of like a Brock Lesnar, just as far as like acting talent goes. She is incredible. She is fantastic. Did not send rats to any of her co-stars. Did not show up on set pretending to be Amanda Waller. Is not, and like here's the other thing. Like you get the two of them together like at conventions and stuff talking about it. You've got Viola Davis, who's a consummate professional on one hand, and Jared Leto on the other. And Leto, if he wasn't white, he'd be in prison, or he'd be in an asylum. Jared Leto's method acting is the very definition of white privilege. Could you imagine if Will Smith tried to pull any of that shit?
Yeah, no, people would.
Could you imagine if like Margot Robbie tried to pull any of that shit? Like they wouldn't work again ever in anything. They would be locked up. They'd be the butt of jokes. But instead, like, we're supposed to be taking his method seriously? Fuck you. No, I'm not. Like, you. Even the idea of method acting, like Heath Ledger, method actor.
Yeah.
Okay, so really researched the character, but he was not the character between takes. He was not the character offset. He would go and lock himself in hotel rooms and like practice the laugh and practice the mannerisms of the character. But he wouldn't traumatize his co-stars. He wouldn't be the Joker outside of when he was on camera.
No, but I think that's probably the main problem with you cast a rock star.
Here's the thing: Will Smith, rock star.
That's true.
Viola Davis, rock star. Margot Robbie, to a certain extent. Jay Courtney, rock stars.
Rock star in the sense that we have a
Ben Affleck.
punk.
Ben Affleck is a rock star, and none of them feel the need to be an idiot.
But yeah, he's
like I think Will Smith summed it up best because Will Smith did an after shoot party where he invited everybody to his house, like all the cast, all the crew, except Leto, because he was like, I don't want that fucker there. He's gonna like eat pictures of my kids or something. So, yeah. And the Joker itself, like for all of the hype, for all of the build, for all of the they're gonna be the defining Joker character. No, he wasn't. He wasn't that compelling or interesting. Like there's the concept is there. Like the idea of the Joker celebrity, the Mickey and Mallory Knox version of the Joker. You can do a lot with that. That's fascinating. And they did some stuff with it in like a lead-up comic. Yeah, the lead-up comics, they had him showing up at a club, and a bunch of kids had dyed their hair green to be more like the Joker, and he was like, "What the shit is this?" And they were like, "Well, you're a celebrity," and he was like, "Okay, what?" Like, it's funny. Like there's stuff that you can do with that character that weren't done, and I don't know if it's in like the 20 or 30 minutes of Joker footage that they cut.
Could have been, because yeah, I mean,
but
even Margot Robbie has gone on interviews about how, of course, Leto gets all whiny about how there's enough for a full Joker movie and they just cut it out. Like Leto's like response to his amount of Joker was definitely very immature. But even like Margot Robbie talked about it, and she said it was like quite brilliant what some of the scenes that they had, and they didn't make it into the movie. So
I'm going to be curious to see the extended cut. Like BVS had the extended cut that was much better, but it was still a shit movie. So I'm kind of expecting the same thing here, where it's they'll throw in that stuff and it'll be better, but it'll still be like a mediocre movie because that's what this is. It's a mediocre film.
Very mediocre.
It's a big budget mediocre bullshit film. It's
definitely a studio by committee film where like they brought somebody in with vision, but because the studio was so afraid of more repercussions from a bad decision with Scott Snyder having minimal studio interference, that this
had studio interference.
Yes.
There's 6 cuts of this movie.
I'd be interested to see all
so would I. I mean, I want to know what the differences are between them. And of course, if you're going to have Joker, you've got to have Batman. And we brought up Batman being in it with both the Harley backstory and with Deadshot. And Ben Affleck is good.
Oh yeah, no, he's fine. It definitely felt more like real Batman here too.
Yeah,
and not in like because like this is post BBS, which again still a head scratcher because. Again, the whole concept, I guess Joker must have been gone for a while because just in the concept of what BBS presented of where Batman was at after Robin killed him, there's no reason Joker should be alive.
No.
Not to say like this was a nice version of Batman that we got in, although it depends on how long everybody was like locked up.
I think well. 8 months, I think, was the thing that they were given in the script, because they mentioned that. So yeah,
that was like the more interesting part, is that the whole thing about Jared Leto's Joker, the Joker in general in the universe that was created by Zack Snyder, is that Joker wouldn't be around. He'd be super dead. Even Harley Quinn's a bit of a stretch that she'd still be around.
No,
but he might.
Harley's a victim.
Yes.
Harley's a victim. She's a consequence of the Joker's act.
Might have an action, but Gordon David has an active part in the death of Robin.
Yeah.
So
I could believe it, but she's still a victim. She's a tool. You don't blame the victims. You blame the cause. And the cause in this case is very much Joker. And I think even like homicidally angry Batman is going to be able to tell the difference between, well, Harley is like Jason. Harley is like Robin. Harley is another victim of this madman, and I need to stop the madman.
Yeah, no, homicidal Batman wouldn't. He'd be so dead.
Yeah,
Like,
Joker would be a broken thing. I don't know if he'd be dead, because I don't think, like, Ben Affleck, Batman doesn't kill, I don't think.
Well, he does.
Yeah, okay, then that Joker's dead.
Yeah, no, he definitely killed. He shot people up in their cars.
Yeah.
Ran them over with the Batmobile.
Yeah. Okay, fair. Yeah. That dude is dead.
Shot the guy, shot that one guy in that Frank Miller type scene and blew him up.
You know,
Bashed people into walls, threw armed grenades into rooms filled with people.
Yeah, sorry, I blocked out quite a lot of BVS because it's not good.
No, but yeah, that's what happens. He was a straight up killed people in that movie. So Joker would not be around for Suicide Squad.
No. Okay.
So that's just a universe inconsistency.
Yeah. Well, he seems in a better place. Like the entire point of Superman's death, I think, was to redeem Batman.
Yeah.
And to make the world better. Unless you're Amanda Waller, who's like, okay, so what if Superman rips the roof off the White House?
But they had that. That was Zod and Man of Steel, and Superman took him down.
Gonna have some bad people to do some bad things.
Yeah.
Great or good. Okay, so Amanda Waller. Holy God, Amanda Waller.
She was the wall. The wall was there.
They nailed her in a way that this is the defining Amanda Waller performance.
Yep.
And I'm not shocked because Viola Davis.
Very strong actress. Very
Just
very well written.
the strong actress.
Yeah.
And they there's a lot of ways that this performance could have been done, and Viola hit everything perfectly for this.
Just really, again, like it's always in my mind, you DCAU. Oh, we have a question.
Hey guys.
Oh, from Greg Ford. Hey guys, a question. Do you think that the same thing that happened to Suicide Squad will happen to the upcoming Justice League movie?
It's a good question.
It is a good question. I'm going to take a more happy note on this. I'd probably say no.
Mm-hmm.
Because Zack Snyder's going to have far less. Well, I guess the same as Suicide Squad in the way that Warner Brothers isn't going to let the director have as much say as they gave like Zack Snyder and Batman v Superman. Yes, but I mean in a way where we'll get a weird, unsatisfying movie. No, I think Justice League is going to be a much stronger film than the previous 3 movies in the universe, simply because we have, the studio probably isn't going to let Zack Snyder have so much control, and Jeff Johns is actively like being the Kevin Feige for DC now, and as we talked about in Rebirth, Jeff Johns has incredible insight on what these characters are about and control, and he's can be heavily involved in all of them going forward. So I think Justice League has a chance to be a much stronger film.
The other trick is they did Man of Steel.
Yes.
They shot BVS, but before BVS was launched, when they still thought that BVS was going to do very, very well, was when they shot Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
So Suicide Squad, the reason that there were reshots and the reason there are 6 different cuts is because they were like, oh shit, BVS didn't do well. BVS was a problem for us. We need Suicide Squad to do well, but we've already shot our movie.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to add like a couple of scenes. We're going to juggle a couple of scenes. What are we aiming for now? We're aiming for Guardians of the Galaxy. Are we aiming for Deadpool? We need to figure out what the other guys are doing that makes their movies good, and do that with Suicide Squad. But you've already shot the movie. You've already shot the bulk of the movie. Like there's only so much you can do. Justice League is being shot post BVS, post those lessons.
Yeah.
So you've got them having figured out that, oh, maybe we need to have fun in our movies.
Yeah, I mean, the Comic-Con trailer had a much
lighter tone.
Very much lighter tone.
Yeah. You had like your Tony Stark, Peter Parker moment with
Flash and Batman.
Yeah.
Which was a great scene.
Mm-hmm.
Ezra Miller actually really won me over because even when I first originally cast him, I was like,
I'm always willing to give actors the benefit of the doubt until I see a thing, because
it's true. And I really won him over again.
Yeah,
definitely has that Wally West vibe to him. Again, I'm actually interested, like, happy with the fact that we're gonna have 2 versions of the Flash out in the media, live action, that are both very, I think, are gonna be very
different. I cannot wait to see Jason Momoa Aquaman.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
I think I've mentioned this before, but this is like the ultimate Pokemon evolution.
Yeah.
Because he was like a lifeguard in one of his first roles, and then he was like on Atlantis as a worker, like Stargate Atlantis, and now he's the king of Atlantis. That is a Pokemon evolution.
Yes, it is.
And it's Khal Drogo as Aquaman. Like,
yeah,
I want that movie. And I think it's indicative of how much faith they have in his character that the Batman v Superman toys, you got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman.
Yeah.
And Aquaman was in that movie for what, 10 seconds?
Yeah. Not even like doing anything, really.
No. Swam away.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I am.
I'm actually really, really hopeful for it.
Yeah.
And I think this might be the moment where DC finally gets it right. Because Suicide Squad was, again, it wasn't terrible. It was better than Fantastic Four.
Yep.
It was better. I would actually put it on par with Age of Ultron, which I also didn't like very much.
Well, I would put Age of Ultron a little higher because I had more like to it. But again, Age of Ultron's like lowers, and what I think of it, the more time goes on, the more I reflect on it.
Yeah.
But
it was exciting to see everybody like together again, kind of thing. But the more you think about it, the more you're like, some serious flaws in your film.
Yeah. So yeah, Justice League I think is going to be better, and I think it's going to be a good universe going forward. Again, people know what they know what they want now, kind of. And Warner Brothers has a guy, in Jeff Johns that they trust to do things,
to actually like get this properly.
Yeah,
and I think we're going to see a much stronger movie because of it.
Yeah.
Speaking of going back to the terrible movie.
Yes.
Again, not terrible. Terrible's the wrong word. So the only other real character in this movie is the Enchantress.
Yeah.
Like, she has an arc, right?
She does.
Like,
not very interesting.
It's not a very interesting arc, but
and a weird CG and odd belly dancing. That was odd.
God.
Although that first scene where she transforms.
Oh my God,
that was
great.
That was
like
great.
Really good build. Like the idea of the archaeologist going in and discovering this thing, and just the possession. Like, there's some interesting potential there, and they pissed it all away. And I liked her being the villain.
Yeah.
I liked her being the villain. I like the idea of, oh, we've got like this big meta thing, like super secret soldier army thing that we're going to put together, and our big powerhouse is going to be the Enchantress. And then the Enchantress is like, you're dumb.
Yep. I'm going to take over the world now. Didn't do it. And then she got her own power. That's weird. Once they went full CGI on her, that's when it got weird.
Yeah.
Their belly dancing.
The belly dancing I didn't particularly care for. Like, if you're going to go Mesoamerican, because that was the whole point, right? Is she's a Mesoamerican god. And it ties directly into Incan mythology, and I'm not going to be able to pretend to pronounce the names of those deities. But they were definitely drawing inspiration from there. I don't know if that was intentional or not. But there's a lot you can do with that. There's a lot of potential and character and depth that you can go into. And I really would have liked to have seen that more developed. What do you think about the brother? Oh, God. Yeah.
It's,
okay, so...
It's whatever.
Yeah.
It gave El Diablo a cool moment where he got to go full
Diablo.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was
like,
great.
Otherwise, like, who cares? Like, it's not an important character. It's just something to beat on.
But it's again like one of those incredible wasted opportunities, because again that ties directly into Incan mythology.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole plant thing. Like again, I'm trying to remember. It starts with a V, and it's a whole bunch of consonants. Like it's like a Cthulhu Lovecraftian style word, and it's because the lingual structures of the Mesoamericans are so different from anything that we're used to coming out of Europe and the Middle East. So like there's so much they could have and should have done.
Mm-hmm.
And instead we just got, I'm gonna wiggle my hips, and the brother's just gonna kind of lurk around in the background, and I don't care about either of them because they're not characters.
Found in fact that Cara Delevingne, another model turned actress that I feel like people are trying to sell to me that is super cool. She's not.
No, she can act.
I guess she was fine, but it was a very interesting performance to me.
Well, there was no character.
No.
All right, let's send the invitation to Jesse.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna get Jesse in on this conversation. Who's Memento, viewers?
Yep, that's the dude. Invite. Invitation has been posted. All right, let's see if he joins us. So I'm remembering that she was in something that I really actually enjoyed her performance in. So I'm trying to remember what that is. And of course, I've got IMDb on my phone, so I'm just gonna
go have a quick peruse.
I'm gonna double check that.
Yeah, no, there's not a very wasn't very
They
villain.
They didn't give her anything to work with,
Yeah,
like at all.
No, this movie was very much about Harley Quinn and Deadshot, and then underrated.
That's all.
Underrated character was El Diablo. El Diablo was great.
She was, yeah.
He was like fantastic. Really gave a heart to the story, even more so than
she was
Deadshot
really
did.
good in Anna Karina, and she was good in Paper Towns. They're movies that I saw because I don't sleep.
Fair.
So, hopefully Jesse will join us soon.
Yeah.
But they gave her nothing to work with, just nothing at all.
No.
And like she tried, she really, really tried, but they gave her nothing. And like you can see the good moments in the performance again, like the transformation sequence specifically, where her body language shifts, and that to me is always the hallmark of a good actress or a good actor, is when they can shift their body language and what they do when their characters aren't talking. Yeah,
that's a very important thing. My acting training that they always talk about is that you're never always doing something, even when you're waiting. You're never passive.
Yeah.
And the Entrance's character, even when she wasn't doing anything, she was doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Again, until it got to the silliness.
Cara is good. The character wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And the character had a lot of potential. And that really is, I think, the crux of this whole film is, why do I care about any of these people?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like going in, like we talked about El Diablo, and El Diablo had an arc, and El Diablo was great.
He was very great.
El Diablo was amazing.
Definitely. He stole the show for me.
Yeah.
Overall.
Just the idea of this guy who had this power, and it had destroyed him.
Yeah.
Like he had been the bad guy, it had destroyed him, and he was just like, I'm done. I don't want to be this person anymore. And getting to the point where he had to be again, and then everybody else recognizing exactly who it was they were dealing with, being like, oh God.
Yeah.
Like that Will Smith interaction, dude, I was just trying to get you there. They cut the bar scene up where Harley is serving everybody, Like they apparently got rid of a lot of character moments. So I'm going to be very curious to see what that looks like. But that's it for characters.
Yeah.
Like you ask about Enchantress's bro, and it's like, well, did he add anything to it? Really?
No, it was just something to punch.
Yeah.
Literally
Like,
just something to punch.
Killer Croc, you could have replaced with a lampshade. And it wouldn't have made a difference. Katana did nothing.
Nothing. She barely spoke. She didn't get really a proper introduction.
That's okay. You can have the character that doesn't really speak and still makes an impact on your story. But just making sure that stays alive, so if people do ask more questions, we can answer them. But you didn't do anything. Like you could have literally had, oh, we need to go get a magic sword from a museum. And it would have been like, oh, okay, well, that's that. She literally added nothing. Captain Boomerang. What? What a waste! Like, what a great introduction when he comes out of the bag and like punches the soldier.
No,
like,
when he, this is his moments that they had, which are pretty much all in the trailer. Hilarious. Jai Courtney
kills it.
He kills it.
But
he didn't.
He has no character.
No.
He doesn't really add anything to it at all.
No.
Fucking Slipknot.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have him come off the plane and then he's gonna die. He's gonna be in the movie for 5 fucking minutes. Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Like, again, comparing it to Arkham, Assault on Arkham, right? Like they've got the KG Beast who they bring in and they introduce him.
Which they couldn't use him because Batman already killed him in BBS.
Yeah. But you've got that moment. Have you read the Batman KG Beast story, the initial one?
I haven't read it, but I know
hunt that shit down.
I've heard about it and I know how it ends.
Oh my god. But because of who those other characters are, when KG Beast does his thing, it's terrifying and it sets the stage for everything that's going to happen after in Arkham. Slipknot, you're just like, okay, what? Who is this guy and why do I care? What does any of this mean? I don't care.
No.
And if I don't care, well, what's the point?
I debate you on that one just because if we're comparing Assault on Arkham to this, is that KG Beast really didn't get to do anything at all in Assault on Arkham. Like, he didn't even get out of the team. He was literally blown off before she even signed everybody on. So, in some ways, that's more powerful that, like, they get everybody on the mission, and then you have the one guy who's just like, fuck this, rather than, like, KG Beast, who's just like, yeah, no, get out of my way, I'm going to kill you all. And then she's like, all right, try. Boom. And this is like, oh, he's running away. Better blow him up to make sure you know it's serious. And that was to pretty much, like that. I know that was an allusion to like a past Suicide Squad story arc where back when it was in their arms instead of their heads. And, you know, Captain Boomerang says it's just like, yeah, run, like, we just run off. Like, we'll be totally fine. Like, they're kidding. And then he gets his arm blown off. He's like, oh. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just
a good moment.
It's they tried to do a character arc for Rick Flag. I didn't care.
Yeah.
They tried to do, like, literally this movie is Deadshot, Amanda Waller, Harley Quinn,
and El Diablo.
And that's it as far as characters go. But they're all kind of on the same side, except not, because let's get to the plot of the movie. Amanda Waller gets stuck after her enchantress goes rogue.
Yep.
And decides that the team needs to come and rescue her. That's, again, we're going to spoil the fuck out of this film.
Yes, we're here. It's been out long enough, so no spoiler talk.
Why? Like, why? Does she need the Suicide Squad to come? Do any of them get on the copter with her? No. Do they somehow keep any of the Enchantress goons from, like, getting to the copter? No. Do they do anything at all?
I don't even understand what exactly that they poorly explained what even the first mission was that made the Enchantress go rogue. That was just a bad setup.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was the brother. The brother appeared and they couldn't figure out what to do, so they were like, we're going to plant a bomb.
No, that was
underneath them.
But no, that was after.
That was before. It was before Enchantress does her thing.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I could have sworn that Enchantress let the brother out.
She did, but it was before the escape.
Okay. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, the plot of the movie was a mess. Great introductions to everybody, but then after that, the movie was kind of like
First half hour is great.
Yeah.
First half hour had a lot of potential, and then it just fell apart from there.
It just got boring, cliche action movie. Other than like the
Well, again, like, okay, you're gonna have villains be the ones who have to save the day. Well, have them be fucking villains saving the day. Because did they do anything that you couldn't see like Ben Affleck Batman doing, or anything that, you know, the Superman or the Wonder Woman that we got introduced in BVS wouldn't have done? There was nothing to this. You had like this idiot Joker subplot where Joker is trying to rescue Harley that goes nowhere and adds nothing
not really
to it. Really, like you could have removed the Joker and it would not have made a single difference to this movie at all. Like, because what does he do? He goes to rescue Harley. He dies. And then she rejoins the squad. That's it. That's everything. That's the entirety of what he does in this movie. And it's just like, well, why do I care? Why do I care that the Joker is in this movie? Why is he in the? Why are you wasting my time?
Yeah, no, it wasn't a very strong.
Yeah, when the Joker appeared, like the trailer, particularly the Ballroom Blitz trailer, where you've got like the Joker laugh, and then you have Harley going, oh, and then like the Enchantress backing away, like that was cool, right? Like that immediately sets the tone of, oh God, the Joker.
No.
This is somebody that we need to be scared of. But I saw no evidence of why we would be scared of this character anywhere in this movie. No. He just came across as another throwaway idiot.
No, it was definitely like a more high-level gangster guy rather than the Joker.
Yeah.
To quote the like the Killing Joke animated movie, the scene they added, which was a good scene. It was like I thought talking to Batman. It's like, we're scared of you. We're terrified of him,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't that scary. There was moments where I was kind of like, you're unsettling.
Yeah. Joker and Batman should be the most terrifying people that you ever meet. Each of them for their own reasons.
Yeah.
And he wasn't.
No.
He just wasn't. Like, I understand what it is they're trying to go for with it, and I actually think that's a really interesting take on the character. But there wasn't enough. There wasn't enough to justify it. There wasn't enough for us to actually care about anything that character did or anything that Killer Croc did. Like, what?
Yeah,
why was he in that movie?
No,
why was Katana in that movie? Did Captain Boomerang did nothing?
No, he literally tried to run away the whole time.
Yep. And cared about his pink unicorn.
Which was hilarious.
Was it, though? Because it didn't go anywhere.
No.
It didn't add anything. He had no arc. He had no purpose. It was just like, okay, well, here's the comic relief. But we've got comic relief. We've got Harley.
Give us a Flash cameo.
Right? Like,
spoilers.
Yeah. Harley is much more interesting in this movie and much funnier because we care about Harley. Give your characters a fucking arc. And I think that ties into what I'm going to get into next. Because, do you have anything you want to add to the story?
They beat the bad guys. The end.
Did they, though? Did they? Because weren't they supposed to be the bad guys? And didn't really beat anybody. Nothing was accomplished in this movie.
No, they were more.
Amanda Waller set up the Enchantress.
Yep.
The Enchantress got loose, so she called in the rest of her team to deal with the problem that she created. That's
So true.
That's the story of this movie. Except the only people that really did anything were El Diablo, Deadshot, and Harley. Nobody else mattered.
No.
You had like a bunch of throwaway soldiers. What did they do? Nothing. You had Killer Croc. What did he do? He swam underneath to set the bomb. Like,
yeah, but he didn't even set the bomb.
He didn't, and
Because it was the other guy, which somebody brought up to me when I was talking about. It's like, why didn't Killer Croc be the one to blow up the bomb? That would have given him something to do.
It just...
And then I had to turn to him and be like, franchise, you can't kill a Batman villain. You can't kill a Batman villain in these movies. No. Gotta have them show up for the eventual Arkham Asylum movie we're gonna get.
Oh God, really? If you're gonna do an Arkham Asylum movie, take the Dan Slott story.
I read that one.
God!
I read the Morrison one, but I really need to read the Dan Slott one. I've heard good things about it.
Really despise the Morrison one. Yeah, did not like. I thought it had some interesting concepts, but like as an actual story,
yeah, it wasn't good. One of my favorite. But
the Arkham story that Dan Slott did, like I am pretty much willing to forgive anything Dan Slott does because of that comic. It's that good.
I need to look that. That's one I've actually been meaning to read for a long time. Yeah, that's the Arkham Morrison's Arkham Asylum is okay. Never mind. And early in Rebirth, when I was talking about the Holy Trinity,
yeah,
the fourth. There's the fourth in the dark broodiness of the '80s forward comics, and the fourth is definitely a serious house on a serious earth.
Which one?
Arkham Asylum.
Oh God, is that the '80s?
Yeah,
it was done in the '80s.
Yeah, it was done '89. Pretty much they came out like right at the same time. Grant Morrison made so much money.
I am not shocked.
He got it.
But he did so much better stuff, like Animal Man,
Invisible.
Yeah, like Morrison did.
Morrison's future Batman work.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. But all right. So the story was meaningless.
Yep.
Half the characters added nothing to this movie.
Nope.
Like again, like Croc, Katana, Flag, Boomerang, Slipknot. You could have replaced any of them with like a cell phone and it wouldn't have made a difference.
Yeah. You
could have replaced them with brooms and it wouldn't have made a difference. So why are they in the movie and why do I care? Like you take a look at, let's talk live action movies. So the closest to this would be the Avengers, right?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians? Okay. Everybody had an arc.
Yes, everybody did have
everybody had an arc and everybody mattered. Like you couldn't remove any one of those characters.
Yeah, the same thing. No, it's very true.
And none of these characters, like half these characters didn't matter. And
not
they caused the problem that they fixed. So why do I care?
Yeah, no, it wasn't. That's kind of it. Like really, if I were to sum up Suicide Squad, I left the theater going, okay.
That was a thing that happened.
Yeah, it was a thing that happened. It was like, it was the first movie I've ever been to the theater and left with a total ambivalence to. And it was more of the reaction that came from my one friend. It's like, I didn't like it. And I was like, okay, well, it's not that bad.
It wasn't. It wasn't bad at all. It was just meaningless. It was there. It was a thing that got made.
I was, to quote you on Justice, I was whelmed.
No.
I was very whelmed. I was not overwhelmed. I was not underwhelmed. I was whelmed.
It was just there.
Yeah.
And it could have been, again, like it could have been so much better, but it also could have been much worse.
Yes.
So let's talk about the tone and the theme of this movie, because that's really where things fall apart. Because the initial thing is we're going to make this the darkest superhero movie ever. Like that was their goal, and they actually brought on like a sex psychologist to talk with all of the actors, because they were like, we're going to go in some really dark places. So if any of you need to talk to somebody, we're going to have somebody on set that you can go and talk to. And that was part of the hype machine, is we're going to make this the grimmest, darkest fucking thing you've ever. We're going to make like Requiem for a Dream with superheroes. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if I want to see that movie, but I'm going to go see that movie. And then, they were still sticking with the grimdark thing.
Yep.
Which comes out of the Nolan Batman trilogy, which comes out of the never happened Jack Black Green Lantern movie. But they were like, oh, well, people want grimdark, and that led to the New 52, and that led to Man of Steel, like the Superman movie without hope.
Yep.
And then BVS, which was all of the grim, all of the dark. In the DC cinematic universe, there is only war. Bullshit. And so they were still on track for that. And then BVS hit. Well, first off, Guardians hit.
Yeah.
And Guardians pulled in a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, okay, maybe we should, like, people don't want all of this dark. Maybe we should go for something a little bit lighter. And you still had like the Warner Brothers talking heads suit idiots being like, oh, well, you know, like we're gonna do something different, but maybe we should lighten it up a bit. And then Deadpool hit.
Yeah, and then Deadpool hit, and they're like, oh,
okay, well we can do dark humor. We can do dark humor, so we'll add some dark humor. We'll reshoot a bit. And then BVS hit.
And they're like, nobody wants dark anything. Oh no.
What do we do? So the movie feels like a disjointed mess because it is. Because they reshot it and recut it and reshot it and recut it and reshot it and recut it.
Yep.
And
it's Deadpool. Actually, I think if anything, Deadpool told them colors. People like colors, and so everything's neon. Their logo changed, which again, they changed it to much nicer logos.
Yeah.
And like the color scheme and the
bright neon,
like that was
green,
funny.
yeah.
And it definitely brought some more
like high energy, and I wanted to see that movie.
Sure, I
like
did.
When that trailer, the Ballroom Blitz trailer hit, the Bohemian Rhapsody trailer hit, I was like, shit,
yeah,
these look really good. You know, if they can maintain that kind of energy and that kind of feel. And I know that trailers are supposed to sell you on the concept of the movie. But you expect the trailer to be indicative of the movie in some way.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. Because this was just a joyless slog.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't call it joyless, but
it's just
definitely there was the tone shifted because they had the beginning bit, which was much more in line with the advertising that they started to do, you know, with the crazy cutaway, pretty much cutaways of like telling everybody's things, and that was great. Like I thought that was hilarious. And then you get into more of, I guess, what they were trying to originally have it be, and away from their advertising thing, and the energy got like low because they weren't. It was just, again, it was like in some ways like Avengers 1, where it was just wave after wave of meaningless minions, and like.
Well, that's more Avengers 2.
No, Avengers 1 does it too.
Avengers 1, not so much, right? Because I mean, the first
a giant beam shoots up into the sky, and the monsters.
All of the Galga thing, but they set that up with Galaga, right? And then you had the build up to that throughout the movie, with Loki being like, "Well, I'm going to bring in an army. I have an army. I have a Hulk. We have a Hulk." Like they built to it. So when the alien invasion came, you still cared because it was these characters fighting against the alien invasion.
Okay, then that is like Ultron in that way, where it's just.
Transfer it to wave after meaningless, faceless monkeys that haven't been built to in any way.
I'm just kind of there, and you're like, what are these?
But they don't know. And then what? Okay. So they're taking out the highly trained soldiers, right? Before the Suicide Squad gets there?
Yep.
Okay. How? Because there's other soldiers there, and they do just fine. And then Deadshot is just killing them with bullets, and he's doing just fine. And Harley is just, being Harley, and she's taking a bunch of them out, and she's doing just fine. And I guess Croc is doing a thing, and Katana is maybe doing a thing. But I mean, really,
drinking a beer.
Yeah. But ultimately, it's Deadshot and Harley taking them out, and they're not having any problems at all. So why do I care? Like you build up that, they're monstrous, so maybe they're what now? No, I don't. Should have booked that, Ray.
One.
Well, we can't have dead air, so let's continue talking.
Yeah.
But it's nothing to do with anything, and it's dumb.
It was dumb.
It just I don't care. Like, and again, like if you're going to go for Mesoamerican mythology, like they could have developed that, and it could have been great. Like, and you could have even tied that into El Diablo with the Hispanic tie, right? Because that's like the entire goddamn thing right there is that warring culture between the old Mesoamerican faith and the Christian faith that supplanted it. And like, there's so much cool shit you could do. The Mesoamericans have like these red cyclopean giants that are like that the Incas initially went to war with. You've got God, the endless rain. You've got the Nahul. You've got so much cool shit that you can draw upon that they did. The Talamakaski, and nothing, just nothing. We got no explanation, no idea what the plan was. It's just another like fucking light show in the sky with a bunch of shit circling around it that we've seen in like every superhero movie since like goddamn X-Men, since Blade.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but Blade built to it. Blade did it well, as opposed to like X-Men, which didn't, and Spider-Man, which didn't, and well, Spider-Man 2, which didn't, and like it just, I don't care. I don't care. Come up with a different thing to do.
Yeah, no, we'll get there. I say I can't get quite as angry as Aaron because it just was. I just no reaction to it. Again, everything, like I like Harley Quinn, I like Deadshot, and Mind the Joker. Kevin Boomerang was funny when they did his little cutaway things. Viola Davis was great.
Yep.
The villain was underwhelming. The effects got really bad with Cara Delevingne's like transformation. That was really like odd, shiny, gross CG.
Yeah, I liked the initial transformation.
Yes, when she was still grungy. Yeah, when she was dark and grungy, great. When they turned her into the oddly
hip dancing,
the hip dancing hula dancer. Hula hooper, really, like weird cell shaded.
See, here's the thing. I know hula hoopers, and if you want to do like the hula hoop thing, if you want to do it like she's hula hooping her energy around, okay, cool, do it. But do that, and give us a reason for it. Give it some purpose. Give it some meaning, because what we got had none, and I didn't care.
Just looked odd.
Yeah. Oh, she's gonna let her brother die. Why? Like. Nothing made any sense at all.
No, it was really inconsequential, really, the whole movie, and in the end, it didn't really further the universe anymore. Like it did accomplish that. It felt like there was a history in the world, but like it didn't accomplish to push it any more forward. It really, like, we got an after credit scene that we already knew we were going towards, so
it just
like maybe it would have helped Suicide Squad, like that mid credits.
Okay, here's the other thing with the after credit scene. Okay, like, okay, you're building up to Justice League. You want to do like the Nick Fury at the end of Iron Man sequence, right?
Yeah.
Well, they got all the files because Luthor had them. So what did they gain?
I know.
What did it matter? You had like, okay, you've got Amanda Waller and Bruce Wayne on screen, and I really enjoyed the Ben Affleck performance in this movie, and Viola Davis. I'm not going to complain about more Viola Davis.
Definitely.
But I don't care. I don't care. It added nothing. It literally added nothing.
It didn't even add anything to push the universe farther in terms of like Justice League, especially with like Comic-Con just happened. We got that trailer, we seen going around. Like, it doesn't help to tease something that we already know is coming that didn't need a full, like, you just released a teaser.
Yeah, like
much better one.
Here's the thing: when Nick Fury said the Avengers Initiative, we couldn't even imagine what that looked like, because it had never been done before. And the build to it was something we were all looking forward to, based on the strength of those individual movies. Like, I joke and call them the Avengers trailers, because they were, but they were individually speaking good movies with interesting characters that we could get behind. Like, the weakest of them was probably Thor, and Thor was great.
Thor was okay.
Yeah, like it again, like, it's the weakest of them.
Yeah,
but it's still a good movie. Like,
it's not bad.
Yeah, I'm glad that Natalie Portman's gone.
Me too.
Yeah, because she clearly did not want to be there.
No, not at all.
No. It's a shame, too, because Jane Foster's a great character, and I would have liked to have seen the female Thor that got running around on screen, but it's just, yeah.
Well, nope, now we'll have a new love interest in the form of somebody else coming Thor 3, which is whatever.
Yeah. I actually like the assistant character.
Oh yeah, Kat
Yeah.
Dennings.
Kat Dennings' character is great in that. Yeah. But yeah, the last thing that I was going to bring up was all of the backstage bullshit, but we've been talking about that for the past however long this has been going on now.
We're about an hour.
Yeah. So we've been at this for an hour, and I mean we've talked about the constant backstage bullshit and why this movie is such a disjointed mess. But all that said, I'm hopeful for the DC Cinematic Universe future, because this was better than anything they've put out so far. I would say that it's better than Man of Steel. I would say that it's better than it's certainly better than BVS. That is not setting a high bar by any stretch of the imagination.
We explained it is like the behind the scenes stuff. They really got things working now, and I think from here, from Wonder Woman onwards, we're going to have a much better movie because people even involved in Wonder Woman movie are much more
invested.
David Ayer was people were invested in this one, but there's always investment, but it was investment in the wrong way. David Ayer had it, but the studio was too afraid to let him do his thing.
I actually want to see the David Ayer cut. I want to see that ultra dark version. I want to see like all of the Joker shit that they cut. Yeah. I want to see if there's actually a reason for Killer Croc to be in this movie, or Katana, or Captain Boomerang. I would love to see them actually have an arc and do anything at all.
They'll be moving forward, I think. Yeah, hope. There's much more hope for good product moving forward from here.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to Wonder Woman, looking forward to Justice League, I'm looking forward to the solo Batman movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm relatively looking forward to the Flash movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm interested. And I will go see these movies.
Yep.
But I want to see the heroes that I love up on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Doing their thing.
So, hopefully, we'll start getting that.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to feel like adding here?
I think Jesse Inocalla is actually trying to get in now.
Well, get his thoughts.
We're in a call with Jesse Inocalla. Is he actually out there? I think he tried. We had some technical difficulties, so Jesse sadly did not show up, but he is now trying to.
Yes.
I live. We're just wrapping up.
Well, we can get his quick thoughts then.
Yeah.
He can jump in.
Let's get him in. See if we can figure this out.
Okay. There's not a whole bunch more to really say about this.
I tried to sum up the movie as best I had. Just as far as covering everything that we might want to say. So that was why I was like, okay, let's see the characters, let's do this, and this. Invite. All right, the invite has been posted again. See if he shows up. We'll give this another couple of minutes. So final thoughts?
Final thoughts?
Yeah. Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I've seen it already. See it on a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's definitely a Tuesday movie.
Yeah, it's a Tuesday movie. See it half price. We don't want something super. We want something that feels kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was a movie I went to. I wasn't bored.
Yeah.
I wasn't blown away. So, yeah, it was an okay time. If you don't really know what else to see, you want to see something, go see it. Why not?
Yeah.
So, it's a solid 6 out of 10 for me.
6 out of 10. Yeah, that's 5.56. You get some really strong performances out of the people that are given the chance to act. Yep. You can see that the other people wanted to give strong performances but couldn't. It's again just the tonal and thematic shifts that happened behind the scenes that I think murdered this movie, because it just didn't know what it was.
No, it didn't. Not in the end.
And that is a problem. And the story was lacking.
Very much so.
Literally, if Amanda Waller hadn't done her thing, the movie wouldn't have happened.
No.
So the entire movie was cleaning up the mess of Amanda Waller,
It really was.
which is
there's
not
nothing.
what Suicide Squad should be.
No, it's about doing it to do the jobs covertly, and also this isn't a very covert job.
No,
Like it's an abandoned. You got like you were put into an abandoned city, but you're having them deal. There's no reason that
no. This was a giant pile of what?
Definitely this is not.
I'm not upset that I saw it. I'm glad I saw it. But it's not something that I'm going to need to see again. And yet, they release a Blu-ray with all 6 cuts. I will buy that Blu-ray and I will watch all 6 cuts.
Yep.
Because I'm curious.
I'm very curious to see what exactly got cut out, and I think there should be it would be stupid of them not to do a new cut. I mean, they gave us one, they gave us a secondary cut of Batman v Superman, the standing ovation one, which
it was not a standing ovation movie.
No, it wasn't
at all. It was still a very, very bad movie. It was just mildly better than the terrible movie that came out.
Yeah. Like a little bit better, and that more justified things at the beginning, because the rest, justified the setup, but still the execution was bad.
Still shit.
Yeah.
So that's Suicide Squad.
That was our thoughts on Suicide Squad, and a little bit on BVS.
Mm-hmm. And our hopes for the future.
Yes,
our dreams,
and they are hopeful.
Our hopes.
There is light. There is hope.
Superman will come back to us.
Yeah.
Superman will save us.
They have stumbled. They fell. But one day.
They've gotten back up.
Why
do you fall off the horse?
Yeah.
To get back on. To get back up. I'm not a gymnast. So, that's us. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's about it for us, I think, today.
So, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, would like us to review other movies or go into depth or detail on pretty much anything, let us know. Just ask.
Let us know. Remember, like the video, and if you want to see more and keep up to date with us, subscribe. We are doing comic reviews live every Wednesday or Thursday. We got some other things in the pipeline that should be coming up pretty soon.
Yep. You can occasionally find me writing articles on livethenerdlife.com. I've got a novel coming out. I am posting a novella on my fan page on Facebook. So if you're interested in seeing, because I'm constantly criticizing story, if you'd like to see me actually write a story, that is the place to find the thing. No game, no life. Nope. Okay, read. We're reading.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
All right,
cool. Okay.
Whatever. We're about to move on. Jenna's working on her super secret thing.
Yep.
That is due out. We'll be able to hear about that soon.
Hopefully.
What do you got going on?
I got a couple of where to start with Batman videos coming out pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
I know we got some plans to do some other videos. Again, getting into a lot more talking about just not so much new comics, but some back issue things. So we got a lot. You can check me out if you want to watch a nice music video. I was in a nice music video called After the Rain by Kristen McCracken. It's a nice song if you want something nice to listen to.
Go check that out.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
It's on Vimeo.
Is it on the Tube of You?
Sadly, no, it is not on the Tube of You. But it is on Vimeo. So,
sad.
Yeah. I don't have control of where these things get dropped, but go check it out. Yeah. It's not bad. It's a pretty fun time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
You're watching.
And we'll be back next week.
See ya.
Peace out.